The movie opens in the lush green forest of India, where resides an orphan boy named Mowgli, who lives among a pack of wolves led by Akela. At the moment, Mowgli is being chased by something rustling in the bushes, and suddenly, a huge black panther with an English accent jumps on Mowgli, only to mock him for his speed. The panther is named Bagheera, a good friend, training Mowgli to be at par with a pack of wolves. Bagheera had found Mowgli abandoned near the river when he was just a baby, and he took him in and entrusted the wolves to take care of the human baby. Akela was humble enough to let Mowgli dwell with his pack for years, and Raksha took on the role of Mowgli's mother. Soon the rain ceased to fall, and as the dry season approached, the water sources began to dry, and for some reason, that year was the driest. For the first time after many years, the water truce was called, which ensured that no animal was hunted near the riverbank, as all animals gathered to drink water from the water body. But the truce is disrupted by Shere Khan, a Bengal tiger with a burnt face and an English accent, who threatens to kill Mowgli once the water truce ends after the rains brim up the water bodies. He is against a man interfering in the law of the jungle, which is inevitable if Mowgli is allowed to stay. After the drought ends, the wolves debate Shere Khan's threat and whether or not to keep Mowgli because of the consequences they might face once Shere Khan returns. Mowgli cannot see his family get hurt because of him, so he tells them he's leaving. Raksha protests as she considers Mowgli her cub, but Bagheera agrees Mowgli should be with other humans where he will be safe, and volunteers to guide him to the nearby human dwelling, where he probably should have bought the boy to begin with. After a tearful goodbye, Mowgli and Bagheera set off on their journey and encounter elephants crossing their path. Bagheera asks Mowgli to bow his head and pay respect to the creators of the jungle. They are almost midway when they get ambushed by Shere Khan, but Mowgli manages to escape after Bagheera tells him to run while he fights the tiger, stalling him enough to ensure Mowgli's successful getaway. But it doesn't take much time for Shere Khan to subdue Bagheera before he continues chasing Mowgli. However, in an anti-Lion King moment, he hesitates upon seeing a stampeding herd, providing Mowgli an escape route as he rides one of the beasts to safety. After losing Mowgli from under his claws, Shere Khan goes back to the pack of wolves and kills Akela for defying what he asked for, and threatens them to lure Mowgli out or they'll face the consequences. Meanwhile, Mowgli survives a landslide and keeps himself from drowning in the river by clinging to a log. The log drifts into the marshy waters where he climbs the vines and pulls himself onto the land. There he meets a python named Kaa, who talks to him sweetly and offers company. She hypnotizes Mowgli and shows him a vision of fire spreading through the jungle and describes the flames as the red flower. She then shows him a vision of his father protecting him from Shere Khan, who killed his father that night but was also burned as the man tried to fight back with a torch. Still in a trance, Mowgli doesn't realize Kaa has her grip on him and is about to devour him when a bear attacks Kaa, and she lets go of Mowgli. The silhouette of the bear and the python fighting is the last thing Mowgli sees before he passes out. Mowgli wakes up to a giant bear butting his nose and sniffing him, and he lets out a scream, but the bear asks him to get over himself. The bear then introduces himself as Baloo and asks Mowgli to accompany him as Mowgli needs to pay him back for saving his life. He asks Mowgli to climb a cliff and get him the honeycomb, which Mowgli does after much persuasion, and he uses his smarts to reach the comb. In the process, he gets stung, while Baloo keeps encouraging him not to give up till he finally gets the honey. Realizing Mowgli could be of help, he persuades him to stay. But Mowgli refuses and says he needs to reach the man's village and tells him a tiger is hunting him. Baloo decides to tag along and takes Mowgli to the village, but Mowgli is reluctant to leave his life in the jungle, and Baloo doesn't help either. He wants Mowgli to stay and volunteers to teach him things even though he just wants Mowgli to help him collect honey before he hibernates in winter. Mowgli agrees to be with him till winter and helps him collect all the honey they can get using Mowgli's tricks. One day, while floating in the river with Baloo, Mowgli spots movement in the nearby bushes, and soon Bagheera emerges. Mowgli and Bagheera rejoice their union, and Mowgli excitedly shows him the vine ropes he has made and their honey stash. But Bagheera gets furious as Mowgli strayed from his journey, which jeopardizes his safety. Baloo diffuses the situation and asks them to sleep on it, and during the night, Mowgli wakes up to elephant trumpets. He finds the elephants gathered around a ditch, and upon moving closer, he gets intimidated by the distressed animals. But when he shows deference, they back off. Mowgli sees a baby elephant fallen into the ditch, unable to pull himself out. So he rushes to get the vine ropes and uses them to tie around the baby elephant so the elders can pull him out. The plan works, and the baby elephant is reunited with his family. And in the meantime, Baloo and Bagheera also arrive there to witness what has happened. Baloo tries to coax Bagheera into not sending Mowgli into the man village, fearing he'll lose his innocence and the people will turn him like any other man. But when Bagheera tells him Mowgli is being hunted by Shere Khan, who has killed Akela for vengeance, Baloo realizes that sending Mowgli to Man Village is the only way they can save him. Baloo does what needs to be done and pushes Mowgli away to get him to continue his journey. Mowgli is upset that Baloo ended their friendship just like it was nothing and climbs a tree to cool off, but soon gets kidnapped by a group of monkeys known as Bandarlog, who takes him to the ruins of an ancient temple up a cliff where they present Mowgli to their king, Louie, a Gigantopithecus. Assuming all humans can make and control fire, he asks Mowgli to create fire for him in exchange for protection from Shere Khan. Deranged Louie believes he will rise to the top of the food chain once he possesses the fire, or the red flower as they call it. Upon seeing Mowgli being taken, Bagheera and Baloo follow the monkeys to the cliff and soon reach the ruins. Baloo enters the temple to distract Louie, while Bagheera sneaks Mowgli out. But their act is uncovered when one of the monkeys alerts Louie after he sees Mowgli escape, and Louie chases Mowgli in a frenzy. He informs Mowgli of Akela's death, but Mowgli doesn't believe him and runs deeper into the ruins. Louie's rampage causes the ruins to collapse over him, and Mowgli escapes unscathed. Mowgli asks Bagheera if the news about Akela is true, and when Bagheera explains he was going to tell him eventually, Mowgli gets furious and goes to confront Shere Khan, but not before stealing a torch from the man village and accidentally starting a wildfire as the sparks flow from the torch onto the dry grass. Once Mowgli reaches the jungle, he finds all the animals gathered near the river as the news about the red flower has spread. Mowgli confronts Shere Khan, but Shere Khan reminds him that Mowgli is feared by the animals now that he has brought the red flower to the jungle and caused the destruction of their home. Shere Khan provokes Mowgli to use the fire on him just like his father did and prove his prediction of Mowgli becoming an enemy of the jungle. But seeing everybody, including his brother wolf cubs, getting scared of the fire, Mowgli throws the torch in the river and asserts the jungle is his home. Shere Khan laughs and mocks Mowgli for taking such a stupid decision as now nothing can save him. But to his shock, Baloo, Bagheera, Raksha, and the entire wolf pack stand against Shere Khan and fight him, buying Mowgli enough time to escape into the burning forest. Shere Khan overpowers the animals and easily defeats them all before chasing Mowgli. Amidst the burning forest, Mowgli finds a dead tree and devises a plan. Using the vines, he makes a harness and ties its ends to a nearby tree to bear his weight. But Shere Khan suddenly attacks him while he's in the middle of securing the end. Mowgli wards off the attack by climbing high on the dead tree and onto a branch, but Shere Khan catches up and follows him. However, the branch snaps under his weight, and Shere Khan falls and fatally camouflages himself in the fire. At the same time, Mowgli jumps on the harness and saves himself from falling into the blaze. Once Mowgli steps out of the jungle, he finds himself surrounded by elephants. They are there to repay Mowgli for saving their baby elephant, and Mowgli directs them to divert the flow of the river to put out the fire. That night, Mowgli brought the entire jungle together for the first time. It has been some time since the fire incident, and now the jungle is free from Shere Khan's terror, and Raksha is declared the pack's new leader. Under the guidance of Bagheera and Baloo, Mowgli hones his skills, but this time he doesn't try to be a wolf, but uses his dexterity to get ahead and pave the way for a new beginning. In the aftermath, the wannabe man, Louie, emerges from the rubble, still determined to become a man. And that's a wrap for this movie recap. Thanks for watching.